Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Another Mother Brothers.
Excuse me.
KnotCast episode 3. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Guest starring Anthony Pace here.
Hi.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about the themes of each Slipknot album and kind of the band's thought process of each one and our thought process of each one. So we're going to start from the beginning and we're going to go to recent times. We're going to start with their first album, just self-titled album called Slipknot. Anthony, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll kick us off and
Cool.
jump in whenever you feel necessary, bro.
Of course.
I guess starting us off, a good way to put not necessarily the theme, but the almost the culture, quote unquote culture of the band and their relationship with their fans. They started out as like Slipknot. The band members started out, and I'll explain this in a minute. They started out as The Wound, and their their fans were like the Scabs. That was a quote from Sean. Cran, right? Percussionist, right? Clown, he goes by,
Backup
right?
percussionist and backup vocals.
Yeah, backup vocals.
And director of music videos and helps
Yep.
create the music. Yep.
So he basically said like Slipknot started out when their first album came out as The Wound, and then the Maggots, the fans, we were like the Scabs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So basically, when they all got together, the members came from really shitty pasts, and they used that as their influence to making music. And their first album is notorious for being really fucked up and creepy. So you can kind of say it's almost a reflection of like their subconscious and like how they felt and their emotions. You know what I mean? And then they brought it out to the public, and they got the fans that loved it, and they were there for them because they loved their music. You know what I mean? They had empathy for what they felt. And they understood the messages that they were portraying with these really cryptic, creepy songs. I think that's a good way to put the theme. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think you said it all.
All right, man. So you want to kick us off for Iowa?
Sure. Iowa, they named the album Iowa, obviously based on where they came from. I believe, I'm not sure if all of them came from Des Moines, Iowa. Was it all of them, or was it just a few of them?
A handful of them came, like that band originated in Des Moines, but like some members like came from Iowa, not necessarily from Des Moines. Pretty sure Paul and Sean, maybe I think Corey too, were all from Des Moines.
Right.
I can't say for sure the other members though.
Right. For this album, I believe this is the first album where they had all the current members.
Yes.
I mean, besides Jay Weinberg and Alessandro Venturella.
So like these were like the big nine, like the original
There you
big
go.
nine, you could say.
There you
right?
go. You got crap. Well,
So-
you got James Root,
Yes.
Mick Thompson, lead and rhythm guitarist. We got former bassist Paul Gray, and current bassist Alessandro Venturella. We got former drummer Joey Jordison and current drummer Jay Weinberg. We got Corey Taylor, singer. We got Craig Jones, who is the
Keyboard.
sampler for the band. And we got Sid Wilson, who's the DJ. We have Chris Fain, who is a backup percussionist and backup vocals. And we got Sean Cran, who does the same. That's all 9, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back then in Iowa, obviously,
I think
Alex and Jay were not a thing.
No. They were just in Point 5, the Great Chapter.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's when they really kind of started to develop as a band, and it was almost like that album was like a darker version of their first album, and they did it in a surprisingly fast amount of time.
Yeah.
Which is also really impressive. So it's just basically the same kind of theme, just with a heavier, darker spin on it.
Totally. They basically, I'm pretty sure, I think Corey said this kind of along the lines of what Corey said. The darker, creepier elements of Slipknot, they took and they amplified it, is basically what he said. Like, they literally, like, cranked the dark elements and the scary elements all the way up to 100%. You know what I mean?
Which is so cool.
Oh, totally, dude. I think a big part in how, like, the music came out, maybe, was, well, just fun fact, I guess you could say. I don't think this has anything to do with how the music sounds.
Okay, go ahead.
They, like you said, like, it came out surprisingly fast, and surprisingly indeed. because as soon as they got back from touring, right, they were called up and said, we need another album. You gotta make another album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, 99, they finished Slipknot, right? Self-titled album. They toured for like a year and a half, 2 years, right? And then they had to make another one. And then 01, Iowa came out. That's about it.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's pretty awesome and really impressive
Yeah.
on their part. Making a whole album, a lot of work. They took, I don't know how many years between Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses, and All Hope Is Gone.
I think they took a break.
They took a break?
Because their third album came out, I want to say 05.
I think it was 05. And then All Hope Is Gone came out 2008.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Point 5, The Great Chapter, came out 6 years later in 2014, which is quite a long time. Anyway.
Volume 3 came out in 04.
04.
04.
My bad.
So they took a year off. Because they made the album, Iowa, in 01. Toured that for a couple of years, I'm pretty sure. Year and a half, 2 years. Took a year off. Did whatever they wanted. And then I remember they came back. Now.
Alright. Volume 3. The Subliminal Verses. This is a kind of cool one. We don't know. I think this is the album we know the least about.
I know close to nothing about this album. It's just not my favorite album, so I naturally haven't listened to it much. I haven't done my research on it that much.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit hypocritical of us to say to have an open mind when we haven't had the most open mind about this. I think the songs just take longer they used to than they usually do for us.
It's very different. They almost took a step out of their comfort zone with this one. I think because at least back in the day, their first two albums compared to this one are very different. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally different spin.
Right.
Totally different.
And then All Hope Was Gone kind of is a little different after that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that though.
Volume 3. The thing that we do know is that. I think this was their favorite one to make. I think that they said because they all went to they needed like ideas, and they knew that they could help each other out making those making those ideas into songs. So they all went to I'm not sure where it's located exactly, but they all moved in together into a supposed haunted house called the Houdini Mansion, and they just made music for I think a month or two or something. I don't remember how long.
I don't remember.
But I think that's really cool. And it was a favorite one to make because they all were literally living together. Like they had a fridge and they ate together and they spent their day making music and stuff. And it turned out to be their most...
Ended up being their favorite album to make.
Yes. And then... So I guess we'll move on from that. We don't know too much about it. But All Hope Is Gone.
We did try to open our minds just today about their third album.
Yeah.
Before recording this.
Still not the biggest fans of their stuff. I mean, they're not bad songs.
Obviously not.
And
we haven't listened to them enough to say, like, it's a bad song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, All Hope Is Gone, their most popular album, made in 2008, was actually... their least...
favorite.
Not every band member's least favorite. It was... I believe it was Sean's least favorite, and it was Corey's least favorite. May have been James's
I think
least favorite.
He said he didn't like that one a lot either.
I think those are the only ones I know that didn't like making this album because it was...
Joey probably didn't like it at all.
Yeah. So it was total opposite of their previous album, Volume 3, because in that one, they were all working together, and in All Hope Is Gone, they were kind of separated from each other, and there was the producers calling them in individually, and...
Kind of is an understatement. They were very separated.
Yeah.
Doing it.
They didn't collaborate too much. Like they barely saw each other. I remember them saying, right? And which is kind of a bummer. Like
it's shitty.
Yeah.
Just the process of making that album was totally devoid of the bonding aspect, the brotherhood of the band.
That's the best.
It was just all work. You know what I mean?
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But it came out great. Even though they don't like it that much. It turned out to be the most popular album, which is pretty ironic.
I think from a listener's or a fan's point of view, the theme you could say is irony. You know what I mean?
I guess you're right.
That's not necessarily what they were
going for.
What like the message was, but that's how it ended up. It's a very ironic album. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not actually sure what the actual theme they were going for was in that album, like overall.
Yeah.
But all I know is that their two themes are two of the songs have the same kind of theme, which is sulfur and dead memories. They're both. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure they're both about their past 5 or 10 years for Corey and the band, and talking about like what they went through and how like they dealt with the stuff and like how they felt during that time. So I'm just going to make a pretty vague assumption on that's kind of what they were going for and like how they're dealing with their stuff.
I think now this is my opinion. I think All Hope Is Gone is a good album to say that they really had to get serious with their shit because Corey sobered up that album, right?
Yep.
Sean, he lost his father that album, right?
Yeah.
And then other band members had to I can't find the right word. Had to work together, and that like those two things were kind of like the biggest inspirations of like the songwriting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think never mind. I was gonna say that it wasn't related.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool.
A lot of shit went on that just made him really not like it though. I think that's the biggest thing we can take away from that album. It's a great album. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely got a lot of good quality.
Yeah.
Not songs on there.
Totally.
You wanna kick us off on their next album?
Excuse me. Of course, I'll kick us off. As much as I hate to say it, the theme obviously for Point 5 is the loss of Paul. You know what I mean?
Yep.
One of the founding members of the band, bassist, songwriter. Then
Great
he's gone.
friend. He was like a
course.
brother. He was a brother to them.
Yes.
And losing him was a really big deal.
Yeah, and a lot of those songs in that album is about like Corey's and the band's guilt and their grief and like their inner mixed feelings about how they should feel about his death. For those of you who don't know, now you correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Paul, did he OD?
I think he did.
Yeah.
I think so. In a hotel room.
Yeah. They found him unconscious, dead, from, I think, a drug overdose.
I think so. Might have been pills.
I'm not sure exactly why, but like the big thing that really like had Corey's head spinning was like, why
did he do that?
Why didn't you come to us and we could have helped you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that was what the hardest thing they were like dealing with.
Yeah,
and that's what they talk about. It's a lot of regret.
Yeah,
and guilt. That's
totally. It's a big theme.
Big theme.
In that album.
Yeah.
Also, a couple songs in there is about like obviously Point 5, The Great Chapters, their pinnacle of their career. They're extremely popular now, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of they have a couple songs that are kind of like a fuck you or like a we told you so kind of thing to those who didn't believe in them back in the day, like Custer especially. Corey specifically said it's that song is meant for everybody that said that they couldn't make it and then they did. So now it's saying like, you know, come cut me up and fuck me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do it. You know what I mean? Like we're already here.
It's almost like a call and response kind of thing, because two of their early songs, like New Abortion and Spit It Out, are kind of fuck yous to, you know, haters and stuff.
Yeah.
And now, how many years later, they got
like 20 years.
Yeah, they're still making like songs like fuck you songs. You know what I'm saying? The earlier ones are like, fuck you, we're different, we're gonna do what we want, and we're gonna get big. And now they're saying we are big. We told you guys. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's totally awesome that they're doing that.
Totally.
And, you know, they were so right. Yeah. Anything else you want to chime in about this album?
Yeah, I guess Kill Pop, right, is another one of those kind of songs singing about like the shitty relationship they had with like music producing,
music industry.
Yeah, just all that sleazy kind of under the rug kind of stuff that goes on. You know what I mean? That they didn't like.
It's about like Corey was talking about his love-hate relationship with the music industry.
Yeah.
Like he loves it. They all do. They love writing music. It's like their favorite thing to do. But there's a bad side to it, and there's like how the people that they work for, all they want to do is make money, and Corey wants to put an emphasis on the side of music that is about creativity and expressing your feelings. Like that's the whole point of music. That's why people listen to it. That's why people make it, because they want to take their emotions that they have that they can't really express in any other way and put it into something like beautiful that you can listen to and love and appreciate. And they're people like the higher ups only care about money, making like making money off of these people's emotions, and he doesn't think it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
I think that wraps it up.
If we missed anything, all you Slipknot viewers out there, maybe if there's anybody out there that this is getting to,
Yeah.
Chime in if we missed something, if we're wrong about something. Totally let us know. You know what I mean?
Put it in the comments.
We're totally open to your opinions and shit like that too about
Absolutely.
themes of songs and albums and what you guys think of them.
Yeah, because we used to look up what people thought the lyrics meant.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't figure it out for ourselves. It's really complicated, and so many. It's so interesting how many people have so many different views and opinions on what the song actually means. Like not just for Slipknot, for other bands too.
Yeah.
And other artists and stuff. It's really cool.
We already did say that too. Like
we did.
That's how music goes. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes.
Yep. So if you guys we'd love to hear all your interpretations of any song specifically, any albums, any of the band members, anything you got. We'd love to hear it. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up, right, dude?
Yep. I think we're good.
All right, man. I guess we'll catch you next time, guys. Thank you so much, Anthony, for being on here.
Dude, thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, dude. All right, man. Stay sick, maggots.